Hi Christine. Right, let's do some cropping, sizing in fact. So let's open one of our favourite pictures. There we go. Let's check the image size, resize, image size. Right, so we've got a high res image here, over 5,000 and 3,000 in its dimensions. So plenty of pixels to play with. So this is the cropping tool. This is the one that we need here, the cropping tool, and the controls for every tool in Photoshop or Elements. The settings are all up here at the top. So I've already put in 1000 by 750 pixels. It doesn't matter what the resolution is because we are actually working in pixels. So, and this is for, we know this is going to be viewed on screen. So if we wanted all 6 cats in there, then we need to start somewhere around there, and there we go. I'm watching the dotted lines. I've got all 6 cats. Just make sure I don't cut off any paws or any tails, and I'm going to let go of the mouse button now and click the green tick to commit that crop. So there we go. The image here is a lot smaller because there are literally a lot less. That was an image that was 5,000 pixels wide. It's now only 1,000 pixels wide. Now to zoom in, use the keyboard shortcut, which is to hold down the control key and then just press the plus sign, the adding up button. So that's 1, 2, and if you notice here there's a percentage, so this is kind of viewing the image either. I'll try not to explain it because we could go on forever, but just notice it, because when we reach 100%, this is to give you an idea of how it will look on screens at its fullest quality, how it's meant to be seen on screen. Obviously it can be smaller without any deterioration, but now we're looking at it 100%. What we are viewing is pretty much every pixel from this side to that side. We're actually viewing every pixel that is in the image, and we are viewing it at its best at 100%. Now if we zoom in again, I'll do 2 steps, and it's gone to 200%, and even here at this stage you can see those little steps, the little jagged lines, and this is pixelation, and that's because we've stretched it over its optimum viewing size. So to zoom back out again, hold down the control key, tap the minus button, there we go, you can see the whole image. So now we can save that. Oh no, let's check the dimensions first. Image resize, image size, and we can see, yes, this image is 1,000 pixels wide, 750 high. So we can save that because that's what we wanted. So save as, and I've already got a file name of this, of the same name, so I'm just going to click in there and overwrite it. Yes, I know it's overwriting, that's fine, and click OK. So we now have our 1000 by 750. Now if I haven't closed the file, so I can go back to its original state here in the undo history tab. Every time you make an action, it's recorded here, and all we've done is done one action. We've done one crop, and so that's where it's at. If I go click on the open, it's taken us back now to the open stage when we first opened it, and we are now on the full number of pixels again. So just to check that, here we go. Yeah, 5,000 by 3,000. We've got all the pixels again. So if we wanted, say, just the first top four cats, then we'll start our cropping tool around here, and I've done this deliberately so you can see how to move it. So actually I'm selecting an area with the wrong cats in it, but I'm just going to get to this stage so that that's about the right size, because we've got the width correct, it just needs to move up and down a bit. So what we can do is just click within the grid and we can move that grid to where we want it. Okay, now we can still see this little character at the bottom, so we can go to the corner, and it's important you go to the corner to keep the what they call the aspect ratio, so that we've still got the 1000 by 750. If you use the other handles, there's a chance these numbers might change. We don't want that, so always go for the corner, and it always keeps things in proportion. So although we've got tips of ears, that's not as disconcerting as having a pair of eyes in the corner looking at you. So these guys are the main part of the image, so I'm just going to click on that, and so we now have another file at 1750. So let's do that. File, save as, and this time I'll just put a 02 on the file name and save that. There we go. Now I'm not quite sure whether I ought to do this bit, but I'm going to quickly anyway. Right, I'm going to go back to the original file again. I'm going to undo history and go to open. Got all the original pixels here, just check. Yep, 3000, that's good. Now if somebody said they wanted a 5x4 photo of the cats, so it's 5 inches by 4 inches, then we're going to set this information here at a slightly differently. So we've got the crop tool active, and so if we do 5x4, I would imagine, let's do a portrait orientation. So I know I'm doing the width first. I'm going to do 5, put in 5, and then type in IN for inches, take away the pixels, and I'm going to put in 4 IN, take away the PX information. Now the resolution becomes important when you are using measurement dimensions and not pixels, because we still need to have the right number of pixels to produce a print. So say somebody wanted a 5x4 print file of these cats. So if it's going to be printed, then the resolution needs to be a minimum of 300 pixels per inch. That is the industry standard. So we'll leave it at that, and let's try doing a crop. Now actually I suppose I could get them, can I get them all in a 5x4 crop? Yep, and I can take that away over there so that I don't get that messy side bit on the stairs, and we can click to commit. Now let's look at the file information. So image, resize, image size. Right, so let's take this, put this into inches. So it says 5x4 inches, and the resolution is 300 pixels per inch. Just make sure that's pixels per inch and not pixels per centimetre, pixels per inch. So this means this image can be printed high quality at the print size of 5 inches by 4 inches. That's going to give a good quality image at that size. So click OK, and just to get rid of the information. Right, so what if the 5x4 needs to be the other way around? It needs to be a vertical crop. So let's go back in history to that first open stage. Now you see these two arrows here. To get a vertical crop, and it's like tells you there, swaps the height and width. So I'm just going to click once on that, and it's now 4 inches wide and 5 inches top to bottom. So I'm going to take the cropping tool again. I'm going to start it on the edge, and what do we get? Right, so we've got all the cats, and more or less kittens are looking towards the left. If we lose the tail, it's not going to be as drastic as losing a foot or a nose or an ear. We could perhaps, it's if you've got an object or a subject or an animal, a person looking in one direction, it's wise and good for the brain. The brain will feel more comfortable if there's a bit of space for the person or the animal to kind of look into or walk into. And the fact that we've cut a little bit off the back here doesn't really matter, because what happens at the back isn't important. Psychologically, our brain is looking at the animals, the people need space to walk into so that they don't look as though they are enclosed. So I'll just click that just so that we can see, and just zoom in with the Control+ key. So you might think, oh, it's not perfectly central, but actually the key character, Mum, she is actually quite central. But there's a little bit of space here, and it feels like the creatures in the photo can breathe. Now if we did that the other way round, so let's go back on that crop, zoom back out again to the original. So if I did it this way and just move that along that way, so that the nose of this kitten here is right on the edge of the picture, and click and zoom in so we can see it. There's a different feeling. The brain kind of picks up a different message. I don't know if you can feel it, I can feel it. And funnily enough, the main part of the picture, the direct eye contact, isn't centrally positioned, and the whole composition really doesn't feel right. It felt a lot better when there was the bonus of the kittens having some space here to breathe into, to potentially move into, and Mum was in the middle. So I'm going to go back to that other crop and recrop it again. So let's go back a bit, and there we go. For our quality print, let's just adjust it to about there. So we can see with this grid it kind of helps us with placement a little bit. So Mum is pretty much central. Obviously we don't not totally central, but her eyes are central. There's such a strong connection with the brain, with all the other kittens looking the other direction. It's this one that grabs the brain's attention. So I'm just going to crop it at that, and that is our 5x4 print. So File, Save As, and just type in 5x4, put I in, 5x4 inches, there we go, and save. So that, and at maximum quality, that is now saved as a print file. Job done. So we've actually now done it for printing, and we've done it sizing for showing on screen, and sizing images for the website. Job done.